and welcome to my show. And so here I am, and instead of giving you a great big long audacious route to Timbuktu, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually give you guys a shortcut. Now, how would that be? How would a shortcut to paradise be as opposed to the long route to Timbuktu? Well, that's what I said, right? Well, this is about stepping into your greatness and, stepping into your greatness. Now, what does one do in order to become great? Well, firstly, define great. What is great, you guys? You're going to have to work out what you think great is, because you might say, well, I think that someone like John McEnroe, who is now probably a veteran tennis player, is like really great. And then somebody else may say, well, Helen Keller is great. And another person may say J.D. Rockefeller is great. So whatever great is to you, define great and then think about what you would want to happen. Hello there, Anna Maria. What would you want to be great at? So maybe you can actually drop down in the comments. If you could be great at something, anything you wanted, what would it be? So I'm going to give you a moment to think about that, and then I'm going to give you a shortcut, and I'm going to give you the secret to how you are going to get there. So just give me a moment. So what is great? In what area of your life do you want to be great? Would you like to be great with your relationships? Would you like to be great in your career? Would you like to be great in your confidence? Would you like to be great at something like, a great baseball player, or perhaps a great lifestyle coach, or, a great musician? So really that is the question. What do you want to be great at? Once you've established that, then I'm going to get you to answer this question. This is a shortcut. Define a person who has gone before you and already achieved that kind of greatness. Do you know someone that has already obtained that? Now, you don't have to actually literally know them. They may be someone that you know of. It could be a superstar. It could be a role model. It could be a neighbor, teacher, queen, king, president, leader, and need to find a relationship first to be good at it. Well, that is a very good point, because sometimes greatness means what comes first, the chicken or the egg. So in order to become great, you may feel that you need to start with your relationships. And, I will say to you that if you feel that something's been a weakness, like relationships have been a weakness, then I'm actually going to tell you a little secret, because that could actually mean that because it was a weakness, wasn't it? It could be your very strength. I'm not joking, you guys. It could be your absolute master key for what you can be amazing at. So first of all, think about someone who's got that great relationship, or someone who you consider has got that really great element that you want to be great at. And I have chosen someone here that has put down about relationships, because they have stepped up to the mark. So now, as you think about that, what I want you to do is step on the shoulders of those giants. So if you could actually ask yourself, first you've got to find the blockage, because unless you find the blockage, you're not going to be able to actually get rid of that pattern. So by really doing this yourself at home, if you want to be able to find the blockage, firstly, what you got to do, step number one is you know what it is that you want to be great at. Step number two is to look at the blockage. What is holding you back? Like, what does it seem to be? Is it that you are lacking confidence, you're lacking that connection, you feel like you're being taken advantage of, you feel like you're being, not appreciated? What is it that is the recurring pattern that seems to have actually occurred? So just answer that for a moment. Just answer that question. And once you've got that, perhaps you can let me know, say yes, and then I know that it is actually time to move on. Just give me a moment because I feel like I'm not really sharing the love much here. I'm going to just take this over to a group. So far you've done 2 steps. You've done step number 1, the area you want greatness. Step number 2, the blockage. Step number 3 is removing that. Find out, whereabouts in your body are you actually feeling that blockage? Like, are you feeling that blockage in your chest, in your stomach? Whereabouts is it? Now, the next step, this is a really important step, is what are you actually telling yourself? So, for example, if you did say you would like to be great in relationships or great in finance or great in confidence, what I want you to do is think about what are you actually saying to yourself about that? Are you saying, I'll never be able to have the right relationship, or I'll never be able to be that great, or my body will never be able to be so spectacular because, I've got this genetical lineage. There is a story that you're telling yourself, and this is the master key. It's the story that you are actually saying. So as you think of that belief system, what we're going to do is we're going to acknowledge that belief system and change it. So first of all, acknowledge what it is, and once you've got that, then you know the role model, you know the person I asked you to think about who's got that greatness. I want you to imagine you're connecting into the light. You are totally connecting into the light. You're calling into that light to wash in your body that old belief system. Ask the light to purify you. Ask the light to cleanse you so that you are released, cleansed, and transmute the old belief. So that is, you can use the word dissolve, you can use the word cleanse, you can use the word release, because all these words are words invoking that you are about to get rid of it. So as you cleanse, dissolve, release, and transmute that old story, now what you're doing is you are clearing it and transmuting it into the new story. So what is your role model saying to themselves? Like, does your role model say to themselves, I always get spoiled by people that, that love me? Or maybe you're saying, I'm always at the top of my game with anything I focus my attention on. Think about what the story is that they're actually telling themselves. Now, obviously you are probably just really imagining this or making it up even. So as you tell yourself, as you come to understand what they're saying, imagine now that you have this new belief system. Your new belief system is, I'm awesome. I know I can always meet the right person and I always get treated accordingly. Or, everything I touch turns to gold. It's like an affirmation and you are speaking it into your life. You're invoking it. So what you can do is make sure that as you are speaking this into your life, you are saying, now that you've transmuted, now that you've cleared, now that you've let go of that old belief system, that story, I want to tell you something, and this is a true fact. The only reason, and you're not going to believe this, the only reason you were ever ever in a situation where you didn't feel like you were good enough, or you hadn't realized that greatness at this point of time, the only reason is because you were telling yourself the wrong story. So everything starts from what you have seen, heard, and felt as a child, and then develops into a pattern. But you don't have to do that pattern anymore. You can break it. You can also say, I am not available for that anymore. I will not settle for anything less than greatness. So whatever you're prepared to tolerate, if you're prepared to tolerate someone treating you like shiz, or if you're prepared to tolerate, being second best, then really that is what you've tolerated, and that's the only reason it's happening. So by turning it around, by transmuting it, by clearing it, and saying and invoking, the invoking word is so important. And here's another little trick. If you can learn a sentence, a story that you're going to tell yourself. Now, I'm going to share mine so you get an idea. And I'm going to share with you a rather long sentence. And you will know that I have said it before by the way it rolls off my tongue. So are you ready? Here we go. I am a self-made multi-millionaire as a result of transforming thousands and thousands of people's lives and setting up a specific combination of the right things and doing them in the right order. Did that flow off my tongue? Absolutely, okay. My husband has a belief system and he makes a statement, I'm a chiropractor on a world that the world has never seen, all for the glory of God. So when you can say something and it rolls off your tongue, if you say, I always end up with crappy relationships, or I always find that, that I'm coming off second best, or I'm not good enough to be able to be at the top of my game. Your words are your wand. So whatever you are actually speaking, whatever words you are saying, they are the words you are speaking into your life. So may I suggest that you remember this. You remember that your words are your wand. All you need to do is change your belief system. And it's all about acknowledgement. So if you go back to the beginning of this video, if you've just jumped on, and look at the process. It's an easy process. Anybody can do it. Imagine training it to your kids like when they're really, really young. I mean, that would be epic. If every child knew that they could create their greatness through their story, what they affirm to themselves, what rolls off their tongue, and what they believe, and what they will only settle for the best and make it that they are not available for anything less. So that's all I got for you today, and I trust that you really, really liked this version of what I call neuro-linguistic programming and epic greatness. And I'm going to try and come to you as much as I can to give you really powerful content on this page. So Terry Messenger, Transformation Queen, make sure that you've got the notifications, and I'll come to you on our next session. See you later.